Shout out to the sponsors of the podcast, MonarchToken.io, the complete crypto solution. Monarch Wallet is now available for Android, iOS, and desktop devices today. Do you want to learn how to mine crypto? Well, all you have to do is visit cryptomining.tools for profitable crypto mining information today. The Divi Project, that is diviproject.org, your one-click solution for staking and masternodes. Earn cryptocurrency using social media platforms like SOME.social, SOMEE.social, New Era Social Media. Get paid to write reviews, like reviews, comment on reviews. Visit bravocoin.com and get paid to review. Available for Android and iOS devices. bravocoin.com. CoinFlip, the world's best Bitcoin ATM. Better service, better fees. Better visit coinflip.tech today. Shout out to the sponsors of the podcast, MonarchToken.io, the complete crypto solution. Monarch Wallet is now available for Android, iOS, and desktop devices today. Do you want to learn how to mine crypto? Well, all you have to do is visit cryptomining.tools for profitable crypto mining information today. The Divi Project, that is diviproject.org, your one-click solution for staking and masternodes. Earn cryptocurrency using social media platforms like SOME.social, SOMEE.social, New Era Social Media. Get paid to write reviews, like reviews, comment on reviews. Visit bravocoin.com and get paid to review. Available for Android and iOS devices. bravocoin.com. CoinFlip, the world's best Bitcoin ATM. Better service, better fees. Better visit coinflip.tech today. Shout out to the sponsors of the podcast, MonarchToken.io, the complete crypto.
God, like thousands and thousands of hits on your YouTube.
I know, dude, that was crazy. That
blew your YouTube up because before that.
Well, that too with the consensus
subscribers.
Consensus also did the same thing a couple years ago. I called out a scammer at Consensus, and unfortunately, YouTube decided to basically shut down my channel for a year for uploading the video of me calling out a scam. Yeah, so like it didn't have the same bump as like the York Malt post did, but yeah, I mean it's funny, you know, people love the drama. Hey, how goes it, everybody? We're live. This is Ken Bozak here to talk about Bitcoin and Bitcoin accessories. Today I'm with my bro Cobra Trading of aedge.org, aedge.org. How goes it, bro?
It goes well, man. It goes well. How have you been? I'm
good, man. I see FN Base Bitcoin Ben in the chat. How goes it, Ben? Much appreciate you, bro. And we got the Bitcoin B is here. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. If you have any questions or comments, topics, just drop them in the comment section.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty open. People want to ask you or me questions. Let's go for it.
Yeah, guys, if you have any questions, drop them here. We do a open AMA Fireside Chat. But I guess we'll start with like Cobra, bro. Like before crypto, like, you know, I'd love to get a little bit about who people were and how they got into this space. So like before Bitcoin hit your peripheral, like what were you doing? And then how did that lead you down that rabbit hole?
So I'm actually a chef by trade. I worked professionally as a chef in a whole bunch of restaurants for about 15 years. And I was good at it. I liked my job, but I guess after some point, I just realized that there's got to be something else that I can do. There's got to be something else that will, you know, bring more value to people's lives. Like food is great. Yeah. But it's like, what am I really doing? Standing over 150 degree, you know, like it's 150 degrees in the back of the restaurant, you're sweating, you get no time off, no weekends, no, you know, holidays with family and friends.
And you don't even get your own Netflix show like Gordon Ramsay. It's not fair.
Yeah, right. I mean, I wish, but I mean, the reality of it is, you know, I was in that industry for maybe 15 years total. And I worked my way up to like assistant kitchen manager and like sous chef, but that was like the highest I got. And the hours were still long. Now there was even more stuff like paperwork, inventories, truck orders. So eventually I just got tired of it. And I was just like, you know what, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be something else I can do for myself to make money for myself that doesn't involve me like busting my ass and getting yelled at by a chef every day.
I think it eventually gets to
So
that point to where you're like, I got money. How do I make money work for me so I don't have to work for me anymore?
exactly, that's the point. That's exactly what I started doing. So I started researching, I started reading books, I started going to the library, reading articles online, all of that stuff, and just started really researching just investments, just different ways of investing, different investment vehicles, whether they're traditional investments like 401ks, mutual funds, or trading stocks, commodities, and futures and shit like that, or digital assets. That's when I discovered digital assets in I think it was late 2016, and I discovered it, but I didn't actually invest in anything until I came in with the majority of the crowd back in 2017. Um, and I started teaching myself trading. Before that, I first started trading forex
Oh, wow.
and commodities and stuff like that. So I still do. I love trading gold, oil, natural gas, all that stuff,
Yeah,
all
but
the
how
commodities. Really
different are
awesome.
those two environments, right? Like, dude, you
Oh,
probably had to forget everything you knew about,
dude.
trading and had to relearn.
It's so crazy. Like all the digital assets are so crazy because, like with stocks and stuff like that, you can't fractional trade. So, like with Bitcoin, it's all about fractional trading.
Yep.
All of the alts, they're fractional trading. Like even with the penny stocks, you're trading them fractionally. So you're trading like a thousandth of a cent on a trade. And that's what makes it a lot more challenging, is because there's a hell of a lot less liquidity, it's a hell of a lot more volatile and it's more susceptible to manipulation. Obviously, we all know that now. I know that now, but that's pretty
Yeah.
much how I got into it. So I started cutting back my hours at my job after I started trading, and I built up a portfolio after a little bit of time. Started dipping my toes in trading, learning, and then once it got to the point that I could cut my hours down even more, I just slowly started flip flopping what I was doing from being a chef to trading and kind of growing my own brand and branching out, doing charts, getting a social media presence and stuff like that.
That's gotta
And
be
now
a
it's
weird conversation with
turned into this.
coworkers. You know what I mean? Like in the kitchen cooking up some eats and like, oh, so what are you doing on the weekend? Oh, I've been trading some crypto. Like, wait, what?
Yeah. Well, I put a good spot buy in on da 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 because the Ichimoku clap,
Oh yeah.
and they're
Like,
like,
dude, why are you in such a
what?
bad mood? Oh, I got liquidated. Oh no, we have plenty of water in the back.
Yeah, I
uh,
don't know, man. It got liquidated. What? More batter?
Yeah, I've had issues, or not issues, but like similar conversations with, and I would consider it an issue of conversation where you're trying to talk to people about your hobbies and interest in crypto and trading and stuff like that outside of like your 9 to 5 life, and it's like a ton of bricks being dropped on a friend's head when you
Yeah.
try to tell them what you're doing, and I may over explain or something to that effect and maybe do too much to onboard somebody too soon, but
But it's because we're passionate about the space.
yep.
Like when you're passionate about something, you're gonna talk about it a lot. Like somebody else knows exactly what you're saying, but unfortunately they don't.
It takes a while to get to this passionate point. Like,
Yeah.
you said it got on your peripheral. It took you a year or so to kind of dive into it. And I feel like that's for any and everybody. As soon as you first hear the word Bitcoin, you start to look into it. If today's the first day you started researching and doing your own research into Bitcoin and blockchain cryptocurrencies, it's probably going to take a year or so for them to
Yeah.
actually dive into it because it's a long
Absolutely.
rabbit hole of education and understanding. And most people don't even understand money, let alone this
Yeah.
cryptocurrency
Yeah, and
concept.
that's pretty much what I had to do. Like I tried to dive in and I ended up, like most people that start trading, they blow up their first portfolio or maybe even their first two or three. I was no different. I did the same thing. I jumped in, oh yeah, this is a great way to make money. Let's place trades. Boom, boom, boom. Pressing buttons, smashing that 100x, like I mean, yeah, when you don't even know how money works and you don't know how the actual monetary systems work, you don't even have a good ground of understanding to even be able to begin to comprehend what's a good thing to do, what's a bad thing to do. What does negative yielding interest mean? How is this news going to affect this market? Like there's so much involved with it. And it's definitely, when you're on your journey as a trader, it's definitely hard to sift through all that information, especially with so much misinformation out there. There's so many
Yeah.
people that are scamming people and
Not
just
even
trying to
intentional
make money off of
misinformation, bro.
idiots.
There's so much accidental misinformation coming from the
Yeah,
mainstream and people like fucking CNBC Fast Money that don't have a clue what they're
yeah,
talking
they don't
about.
have any
I
idea what's
remember
going on.
last year, the first time that the mainstream even mentioned the word happening, and like they completely misrepresented the what the happening is in blockchain. And I think the common misconception was sort of like a stock split or a dividend when you came from like a traditional investor mentality looking at what a Bitcoin happening is. Bitcoin Ben, thank you so much for the attempt on the super chat. I saw that you had an issue with YouTube being a jerk there, but I appreciate it. He does have a question. How much of the recent BTC price jump has to do with the halvening?
Ooh, that's actually a really good question. So it could have a pretty significant amount to do with the halvening. But again, it could also be price manipulation, right? So as the halvening is going to happen, I think right now what we're seeing is we're seeing a boost in price because it's speculation and no one knows really what's going to happen as we get closer to the halvening. And I think what's going to end up happening is because of what the halvening is, I think a lot of the miners and stuff like that, especially with what's going on in China, I think there's a really strong possibility that we're going to see a pretty big capitulation in mining and stuff like that. We're going to see a huge slowdown in network speeds. I think we're going to see a huge capitulation of miners starting to dump everything, like dump their profits on the market. And I think that it could have a pretty substantial effect.
Yeah, they've
Normally,
been mining at a loss for a little bit.
yeah, they're already mining in a negative. So I think what's going to happen is this price jump right now. I think all the miners are looking at this like this is fantastic.
Yep.
I get to exit the market before the halvening happens, and they're what's going to happen is they're going to dump all of that on the market. They're going to sell it because they're more aware of everything in the mining field than I am certainly. The only thing I've ever mined is Raven coin on my little dual
Respect.
1070 graphics cards. You know what I mean? So they have way more of a better understanding than that. But logically, to me, I would think that they're getting ready for this. This price jump is awesome for them. Maybe they're coming out of the negative on their mining because of how many more transactions and how much the price is going up. And they're using that to their advantage. They're going to wait as long as possible. And then as soon as they start seeing technical analysis that this thing is topping out and it's done, I think they're going to dump. I
Yeah,
think they're going to
miners
dump on the
don't buy
market.
the dip. They sell at the top. That's
No.
what
Yeah,
miners
they
do.
sell the top and then they wait to start mining until it's low again. That's what's going to happen, I think.
Yeah, I don't think
And that's
people
happened.
realize
I think so far that's happened every time.
how much more expensive a Bitcoin is from a miner though than an exchange. A lot of people don't realize like the price of a Bitcoin from a miner is not the price of a Bitcoin you're being shown on Coinbase. It's much
No.
more valuable than what Coinbase is
Yeah.
saying a Bitcoin is worth.
And that's why I'm kind of fearful about what's going to happen with the halvening. Everybody is going into it now like, oh, we're gonna, as soon, of course, every time we break 8K, we're going to 20K. Every time we break below 8K, we're going to 3K.
Yeah, Ben, I do
So
agree with this actually. Ben says, do you think the hash rate jump is miners racing for BTC before the halving? Absolutely. Yeah,
absolutely,
if
yeah,
they
totally
were
agree.
mining something else and they could use that for Bitcoin, they just swap over. They're starting, and then they'll switch right back on over to whatever else they were doing before.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's been a lot of talk lately about like with what's going on with BSV,
Yeah,
because
miners have
BSV
no allegiance.
climbing through
Don't
the
get
roof.
that wrong. Like miners have no allegiance to BTC, BSV, or
Mm-mm.
BCH.
No,
Miners
it's
have
whatever's
allegiance
profitable.
exactly profits
Whatever's
over. They're
profitable.
not
And right now,
tribal.
BSV is way more profitable to mine than Bitcoin is. And if any of you guys have looked at the charts of BSV lately, that thing has been taken off like a freaking rocket.
Yeah, I was actually making a joke last week in Miami about everybody's like, "Oh, Bitcoin's up 10%." I'm like, "Yeah, my Bitcoin Cash is up like 40%." And somebody came up behind me and was like, "My BSV's up like 200%." And I'm like,
Exactly.
"Weird."
Yeah. I mean, they're doing a lot of things. Like I've been trying to keep up with the news with them. They already own like 200 patents for
Yeah,
their
their hand
stuff.
cash
They've got
app and
more.
Twitch and different things being built
Yeah.
around. It's pretty cool.
They're
I
doing
play around with
really,
them.
really big things with BSV. And honestly, I would recommend that if anybody is against BSV, that's all well and good. If you don't like Craig Wright, that's cool. But if you're in it for the money, I would recommend holding some, because I think that BSV is going to be really big. I think it's going to be really big pretty soon. Because again, when you take the whole mining thing into aspect, what's more profitable? When you're mining something that's the SHA 256, what's more profitable?
Right.
You know? Bitcoin or something else that uses the same algorithm, which is going to be more profitable for you.
Yeah, and I say the same argument with like Bitcoin Cash to Bitcoin is like, anywhere Bitcoin's accepted, Bitcoin Cash is accepted as well. It's the
Yeah.
same point of sale system. If you're using, BitPay or whatever as a merchant, or Coinbase merchant service to do point of sales as a business, if you accept Bitcoin, you accept Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV, you accept almost all
Litecoin
the
too.
forks. Yeah, Litecoin is a common one to
Yeah.
see accepted as well. So yeah, I mean, a lot of people are like, "Oh, but who's accepting BSV?" I'm like, "Well, any store you say that accepts Bitcoin out front, most likely also accepts BSV." You don't.
Yeah.
I'm not a
Normally
fan of
it's like the
Craig at
4 or 5
all, but
pretty big
I've
ones.
decided to detach my opinion of a project of people supporting the project. You know what I mean? Like, imagine if Craig was Satoshi, would it really matter? And I feel like tribalism, yeah, it might, but in technically, would it matter fundamentally? No, it wouldn't.
No,
So I'm
it
trying to
doesn't.
detach the fact that I know Craig supports BSV, Rogers promoting BCH. I don't like either one of those two clowns, but I can't let that affect the way that I appreciate a technology that exists just
Exactly.
because these guys decided to be the front men and support it.
Exactly. I can't stand Craig Wright, but at the end of the day, the technology behind BSV is really good. It's way more scalable and stuff like that. And it's something that not very many people are talking about. I see people posting on Twitter, Bitcoin charts all day long, and I never see anybody talking about any of these other majors. I
Right.
mean, BSV used to be down at what, spot number 25 or something on Coin Market Cap. I mean, it's way up there now. It's no joke. And
And again,
I
this could
totally
all be
agree with the
a
sentiment
perfect
that they're
storm.
accepted everywhere. Like
Right.
anywhere that you go that you see Bitcoin accepted here, normally they also take Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash,
Yep.
BSV, Litecoin, the big ones, the
Yep.
ones that are worth a shit.
Yeah, and like we were mentioning, this could be market manipulation, it could be speculation on the halving, or it could be both. And
Yeah.
I'm looking at the potential of a perfect storm scenario where, like we saw last year with the halving and what can be expected, the market manipulators can kind of go back at that and see exactly what they may potentially be able to do with what resources they have. This could be a market manipulation moment happening on the exchanges colluding during the halving, and this could lead us to a position where it's complete chaos. In a couple months, we don't know where we will be
Yeah.
because I don't think the market is naturally progressing. I don't think this is a healthy movement right now. From what, in a month, three to
No.
$9,000 in 30 days. I
No.
think that's what it was. Like, uh,
Um,
it could be a few months. Bitcoin Ben wants to know how many months after the halving will price reflect the new supply rate. Do you think? Probably 3 to 6 months, man.
that's kind of a difficult thing to get an estimate for because it really depends on the miners and when they want to hop back into it. So, once it becomes more profitable for them again, and I wouldn't even know how to estimate that, but I would say at least 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
I mean, like we're definitely going to see some crazy big retracement here. I mean, I actually have my charts up on my other screen right now, and literally we were at our $6,400 bottom uh, a month and a week ago. So we've jumped that much from 64 to nine. What, we're at 9,500 now, in
Yeah.
under 2 months. I mean, that's a major move. Like if we go any further up than this, like it's going full parabolic run again. And that's not healthy. Every time that happens with Bitcoin, we just see a terrible, terrible long bear market. And I don't think anybody wants that again.
Yeah, we just got
I,
out of
I
a
don't.
almost 2 year bear market. It felt like forever, man. And
Mhm.
you're right. If we see another parabolic move like this again, there's a lot more risks than reward to high price action. I know everybody wants to see a new all time high, but just like after the Mount Gox crash of like 1300, Bitcoin was fighting to pass that previous all time high because of so many people trying to, break even on their investments or even try to take a little bit of gain from waiting out that
Oh,
very
yeah.
long winter. We have a $22,000 market cap ceiling that we have to shatter and pray that 51% of the holders don't want to take profits or break even. And that's not, it's going to have, people are going to take profits. They're going to dump. And I mean, you could follow Coinbase and all these exchanges like Binance, Poloniex. More people got into Bitcoin when it was over $10,000 than under. So more people have Bitcoin at a loss than people do at a gain.
Exactly. anytime you start climbing up to these price levels, I mean, you're going to see people offloading.
Yep.
I,
I
I
expected
mean,
it
there's
after I
just
saw it with
no
Mount
question
Gox. I
about it.
just
I mean, it's
kept
just like
waiting it
with a
out.
lot of the alts, some people are still holding underwater alt bags from 3 years ago. I mean,
That makes no
Jesus.
sense, dude. They think that, and a lot of people holding these bags think they're going to see like 3,000%
No,
returns, and that
it's
that
like
that
playing
era
penny
is
stocks
over.
on the stock market. I mean, if you bought into a penny stock or some little $4 or $5 stock or whatever, thinking it was going to go up, and then you got greedy and didn't take profits when it went up $3, you're stuck with it.
I
You're
did
stuck with
I
it.
did fuck up doing that once. One time I got into the stock market. One time, and I decided to keep taking profits as it kept going up, and I think it's like TRTC and VAPE and other cannabis stocks that I was looking at their
Yeah,
tickers when
pot
they were,
stocks. My
yeah,
a
they
lot of
were
my
under
friends are
10
big in it.
cents. Now they're going up to dollars, and I'm like, "Oh,
Hmm.
why did I sell these stocks?" But you're right. Like that's, if you were to come out with a new cannabis company today that was trading at around a penny, odds of it going up to that $10 mark, it's not as likely. Same thing with these ICOs and projects that are coming out now.
No.
A lot of, and this is going to be two different conversations, obviously, because you're more of a trader and I'm more of an investor when it comes to the mentality of the space. But the investors aren't trading anymore, and the traders are now
Mhm.
investing. They're starting to look
Yeah.
for projects that actually have something, where actual use cases and end users and a product. The traders and investors both at one point wanted vaporware. Everybody wanted the pitch, the elevator pitch. They wanted the CEO on stage talking about what is going to come, and they would throw
Bitcoin
money at it. Yeah,
net.
now, if you get on stage and start talking about why you need money to build something eventually will exist, nobody's giving
Boo.
you money for it anymore, bro. You
No,
can
no
thank
one's gonna invest in
Telegram,
it.
you can thank Kick, you can thank all these elite companies that did the ICO shit and left all their investors bag holding. Like nobody,
They
they
screwed
want products
everybody,
that
so now no
exist.
everyone's super cautious about it.
Wait for
I
these
mean, that's
products and projects that have been around the past 5 years, dude. Surviving these winters, building teams, building projects. Nobody's investing in them. Nobody's trading their
no.
coins right now because they actually are doing something. It's not sexy. It's not
Yeah. Yeah,
appealing.
they're building it. We're going through that period of the market when all the companies that had really brand new shiny ICO projects, the ones that are actually doing stuff are still around and they're just, building quietly. And all of the ones that were scams and all the ones that were bullshit, they're already gone.
Yep.
And I don't think honestly on our next true bull run, whether I honestly I don't think that this is the start of a true bull run. I do think coming into the halving that we're going to see a dump and stuff. I'm not totally super bullish on this until we start breaking 10.5 and 11K,
Yep.
but I think that a lot of those projects that were coming into the space with all their shiny white papers in 2017, I don't think that we're going to see that big of an influx in that on our next bull run. I
Nope.
don't think we're going to see that much of it because everybody already got fooled into that shit. Like if anybody's really still buying into all crap ICOs again 3 years later after they already got screwed and they're still holding bags from 3 years ago,
Yeah.
I don't think I would like to think that most people aren't stupid enough that they just invest in
I mean,
every
even
single ICO that's
Kickstarter has
coming out,
seen
you know?
investors wise up. Like less people are actually investing in Kickstarter projects because so many have left the investors just with nothing. You don't even get
Holding.
the
Yeah.
ICO token anymore on Kickstarter. You just get nothing.
Yeah,
You
you get
know.
nothing.
Yeah.
You get nothing. And that's been a common problem with ICOs and stuff. It's just a really scammy kind of thing. Like most people don't trust ICOs anymore because of everything that went down 3 years
I don't
ago. And
think.
we don't
Now, let
forget
me
that.
say this: I don't think that the ICO market or model is gone or dead. I just think it's going to come from projects that already have a little something to give.
Yeah,
They're not going to use
absolutely.
these to start saying, "Hey, we need to hire developers." They already have developers. They already have a project. They already have a platform. Now they're going to create a token to fund additional resources and use that token probably as a utility for service or a product of some sort. But no, I
Oh,
don't think
well,
vaporware is going to get much money.
what do you know? It kind of sounds like I don't know, a traditional initial public offering.
Yeah, that's why I'm like with these STOs, and they're cool and all, but the ICO market was where it evened the playing field. I do not
Yeah.
want to have to be accredited to participate in something like this angel crowdfunding investing opportunities. the security theater bullshit doesn't mean anything to me, right? Like, you being accredited and all this, it doesn't save your ass when you do dumb shit anyway. So it doesn't matter at the end of the
Look
day.
at what happened to Substratum. You remember that, right? When Binance delisted Substratum because the dude, like, they were running out of money, so the dude started trading their own tokens to try and profit off of them, and like those tokens were supposed to be like issued to the community. He was basically mishandling funds and stuff. As soon as CZ caught wind of that, they delisted him real quick, and they've been pretty much gone ever since. They're still trying to fool people that they're developing stuff. They're not developing stuff. They probably don't even have a
What about when a token rebrands, bro? You know what? My most profitable dumb trade was Ant shares to Neo.
Really?
Based off just the name. I knew they were changing the name. I literally got in a bubble bath in my bathroom, went on a YouTube or Facebook live stream, and was like, look guys, this Ant share thing, they just said they're going to change their name. Here's the deal. Traders are stupid. They have no clue what's happening. They don't read anybody's discords. They don't go into telegrams. I'm in the Discord for Ant shares. I'm not looking at the TA charts, red and green candles.
Yeah.
I saw the devs talk about rebranding. Now I know dumb day traders are going to see this brand new token with all this previous market history
and they're going to buy it.
Exactly. And I just was like, I'm going to make money on dumb people. And like, that's all that it took at the time. Now, probably not.
You got to find, I think when it comes to trading, like you have to find a happy medium. Like I'm definitely a technical trader. Like I trade what the charts tell me. But there's also a certain amount of fundamental analysis that I am going to do. Like I am going to look at the news.
FA over
and
TA,
I think it's mostly
crypto,
the fact that
opinion.
I came from trading like Forex and commodities and stuff, and like getting used to like world news and how that affects currencies. Yep. And, like the whole Brexit thing in Europe and how that affected the currencies and, all things like that, the coronavirus and how it's affecting our stock market.
I didn't realize previously back at events, like even Hurricane Katrina, people were trading off of that and making a lot. And I just saw that there was a trader and investor on the news. I don't remember which outlet, but it was mainstream. It was basically talking about how the coronavirus is one of the most profitable pandemics ever or something like that. Like there's a lot of money to be made because of this virus and outbreak.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of money to be made in it. Pharmaceutical stocks right now, I forgot the name of it.
And that's why FA over TA.
Yeah. FA in a lot of cases, like especially for major news events like this, like major news events and things like that, you can definitely be profitable trading off of. There's like for right now with the whole coronavirus thing, pharmaceutical companies are just awesome. Like
Corona beer stock has got to be going up.
Which one?
Corona, the beer. I'm like, their stocks are probably doing well. Their SEO on Google search is probably doing pretty good.
I actually want to see
Corona beer. That's Bitcoin Ben. You can. I don't know the number offhand of the percentage of hodlers versus active traders in the market, but you can go. I think it's like whale address or something like that, and you can find the addresses that have like a lot and their activity percentage. So if a big whale has only made a couple moves a year and they go and buy or sell a lot, like you get these alerts. And you can also see like a percentage of like inactive wallets, active wallets. And I think you could even get a number of like what is considered dead wallets that haven't moved in so long that they're basically considered like lost Bitcoin in a wallet. I just don't remember the name of the website, but I know it exists. I've seen it before. I got everybody about to create a Corona coin. Like it's about somebody's going to make a Corona coin. They're going to make a fake white paper, fake. It's like remember Pied Piper coin?
Yes.
That dude who made the coin just because Silicon Valley TV show made a coin, and they weren't smart enough to actually make the coin that they made in the TV show. That's so dumb.
Let's see. They've had a 19.9% sales jump this was in 2019 though. So I got to find a newer, I'm going to search for it as we're talking because I'm actually kind of interested.
If anybody launches a Corona coin,
going up or down?
That's funny. Yeah, you're welcome.
So what did you do before you got, when you got into the space, man? Because the last time I saw you, the first time I met you in person was up at the New York Blockchain Week. I ran into you and Brecky or whatever. That was the first time I met you.
Yeah, dude, that was awesome week. Actually, that was my second New York blockchain week. It's really good. It's a different vibe in New York. It's really interesting to like talk to a lot of people in really expensive suits, like they're stupid and they know it. You know what I mean? It's like they accept how dumb they are right now because like I'm in pajamas, they're in a suit, and they're giving me their full attention. I like
Yeah.
that vibe. It's interesting. But yeah, dude. I was just fixing phones and doing things like in a cell phone repair shop for almost like a decade, and I ended up getting into crypto in like 2016, and by the beginning of 2017, I actually started getting my direct deposit in crypto from my day job. And even if you work at
That's pretty
McDonald's, you can
awesome.
do that. So if you work at
That's pretty
McDonald's
awesome.
and you get direct deposit, you can go to bitwage.com and you can get your paycheck paid to you in Bitcoin.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Do they do, is it like official? Like they take taxes out of it and
Yeah, it's
everything?
all official. You can have Bitwage employer or
Damn, that's
Bitwage
awesome.
employee.
What'd you say the name of that service is? That's actually really cool.
Bitwage, Bitwage.
Bitwage.
Yeah, they give you an account number and account routing number. It's you have to KYC. It's like just like having a Wells Fargo bank account to receive a direct deposit from your employer.
It
The
just
only
converts
difference
it into
is, yep.
Bitcoin?
Oh, and you can pick the percentage. You can get paid half in Bitcoin, half in cash, or
So basically you use that as your direct deposit and then it's
yes,
using that
sir.
as a service to refunnel it to either a Bitcoin wallet or your actual checking
Yeah,
account?
I get a direct deposit of BTC to an address I have the private keys to
That
immediately.
is pretty
I don't
awesome.
wait 3 to 5 days. If I get paid on Friday, I got paid on Friday.
That's badass.
Yep.
That's really cool.
And it also makes me feel good because I'm like not
How
contributing to
come
dollar
how come a
cost or
service
dollar
like that
fractional reserve
hasn't been
lending.
talked about?
Because they don't. I don't know. This is what
Like
bothers me
what
about like influencers and content creators in this space. These content creators only create content that's going to get them clicks and shit and not actually inform people. But yeah, I try to mention a lot of these projects as often as
Man,
possible.
yeah, that's awesome, man. I mean, they're a whole pay. I'm on their website. They're a whole payroll and HR company. That's
Yep.
friggin' awesome.
Yep. Yeah,
I
they're
don't,
legit.
man. I've never seen these guys at conferences. I've never seen this on Twitter. No one talks about this. Like,
Unfortunately, they existed before the concept of an ICO. So like
uh,
if they had the opportunity, I'm sure Bitwage Coin would probably have been a thing like any other project that, came out during that boom. But yeah, man, I used that forever for probably like all of 2017, 18 until I quit my day job. I was getting paid in
wow,
Bitcoin directly, and it was a funny thing. The funniest part is, I think 2017 on Christmas, my boss bought me a Bitcoin, and it was like $800 or something.
oh wow,
And
nice bonus.
day I quit my job, Bitcoin was $20,000 each. So
What?
he basically gave me my whole year's paycheck in
He
one
gave you
Christmas
a whole year's
bonus.
salary and a bonus. That's friggin' awesome.
And the saddest fact, and I hope he's not watching, but I know that he doesn't own one whole Bitcoin, and he used to pay me the money I used to buy my Bitcoin.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's got to be so depressing for people that hear about it now. It's like, man, that guy said that he was buying Bitcoin with his paychecks. 10
I
years later, turn around, Bitcoin's like
I actually
40K.
got his business to sell Bitcoin. So like the place I used to work, it's called Quick Fix Smartphone and Tablet Repair. If you're in New Jersey, I guarantee you 100% nobody's going to do a better job fixing your shit. But if you want to buy Bitcoin with cash without KYC, walk in, go to the register, give them $200. They'll send you Bitcoin right to your wallet, and you actually get a receipt.
Oh, okay. So it's like a local Bitcoin. They're like a local Bitcoin outlet too.
So close to local Bitcoins. It's called Liberty X. And any
Okay.
brick and mortar store that exists, even I think if you have like an independent LLC, you can actually sell Bitcoin from your phone to anybody. You can be a human walking talking ATM.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
See, and these are the awesome projects that I know that you know about, that I feel like everybody should know about these things. Like these are the things that are super useful. This is the stuff that's going to promote adoption that no one's
Yep.
talking about.
Unfortunately, a
You
lot
know,
of the
like
people in the space are fucking posers. Like straight up popped in during the 20K run and decided to make a podcast and stuck through it through the winter, and now they look like fucking heroes because they're winter vets of a 2 year
yeah.
experience. But a lot of the people in this space that I've realized that talk the talk, do not walk the walk. They don't use the services they talk about. They don't use the products that sponsor them, or yeah. So
That's the
it's
whole point of being
disheartening.
sponsored.
Right, exactly. I only fuck with
Like
sponsors that I
what?
actually use their products. That's
Yeah.
it. Like, you
That's
couldn't
the whole
offer
point
me
when you're
amount
a
of money
sponsor,
to
is because your
promote me if I
job
don't
is
use you.
you're supposed to take that product that they're sponsoring sponsoring you with, and like go and talk about that and use it and show it to people. That's like the whole.
Unfortunately, in this space, all you have to do is talk about it. You don't have to use it. You don't have to show people anything. You just be like, "Hey, I'm sponsored by Poloniex," and you've
Face
never
palm.
made a trade in your life,
Jesus.
So yeah, I hope that more people in this space, start to actually start walking this walk, as they've been around long enough. A lot of I'm not saying like go all in like me, whatever. It's stupid. I have everything in crypto. I have like no dollars to my name. I am seriously a financial burden every time I go out with family and friends. If they're like, oh, you want to go out to eat, and I'm like, will you pay for my food and I'll give you Bitcoin? And they're like, no, I don't want your Bitcoin. I'm like, well, can we go to the restaurant down the street that accepts Bitcoin? We can then go and eat. Like, oh, we have to cater to Ken's fucking financial woes, and I'm like, well, sorry, I use future money. Like, imagine if all I had on me was my Diner Club card, and everybody had cash in their pocket and they wanted to go out to eat in the 80s, 90s. I have to go to a restaurant that accepts Diner Club card because that's the only form of currency I have on me. Sorry, I'm a future burden to everybody living in the past. But I do see it. It sucks, And for people watching, bro, there's ways to get involved in this space outside of trading, investing, and stuff. Like, I used to sell drugs to pay rent. Facts, And when I got into crypto, it looked very similar to selling drugs. I would buy a Bitcoin, I would break it down into bundles, and I would sell that at 10% over market value. So I would make 10%, pocket that, buy back my supply, get back on the corner, and start hustling.
Yep, basically. That's
Are you down with OTC?
That's the whole idea.
You know me.
That's the whole idea of trading. You buy it, you make profit off of it, you take your profits, and then you sell it back to people.
Yeah, people think that you need to go to Poloniex to do trading, and I'm like, well, you can go to a meetup and do the same thing. I mean, if you have Litecoin, somebody wants Bitcoin, you can trade right there. You don't need an exchange for that.
Yeah, and I think another thing that's going to be really big, I think, in 2020 is I think we're going to start seeing a lot more regulation coming into play than we already have. Like, obviously they're doing the whole KYC thing over in the UK and in Europe and stuff like that. They're making all of that mandatory now. But I think it's going to be, I mean, we already know, living here in the United States, it's already really bad. Whenever the government steps in and
KYC won't last long, dude.
Regulating.
KYC isn't going to last long. It's not. Like, alcohol prohibition.
There's always ways around it.
Exactly. And as those loopholes get more easier to go through and utilized more, the ease of enforcement of the regulation outweighs its costs. So it just becomes inept, like alcohol prohibition. There's two amendments for alcohol being legal and illegal. It's hilariously a joke in our government's history. And I think looking at KYC and regulations on trading, it's just a scapegoat security theater event.
They just want to tax the people that aren't technically savvy enough to be able to use it without getting taxed.
The concept of taxation will change too, because the enforcement will be, the conversation the IRS will have, because they will come for me. I guarantee you the IRS is coming for me, because I will never pay taxes. Ever.
They're going to pay. They're probably going to come after me too.
But you know what, though? They're going to come after us with a cup of nice warm coffee, a fucking cigarette, an ashtray, air-conditioned room, and probably a masseuse, because they're going to actually have to work that money out of us. They can't call up Wells Fargo and be like, hey, Ken owes us 50 grand.
Garnish his salary. What salary?
Can't happen, bro. Cannot happen.
What salary are you going to garnish?
What are you going to do? The ease of regulation enforcement will change because these loopholes exist. And more people are opting out of taxation. And I pay taxes when I buy milk. Like, sales tax, fine, whatever.
The sales tax is a necessary evil, and it needs to be there so that our government and our communities and our states can effectively run themselves. But the federal government taking an extra piece of the pie to fuel wars and fuel whatever the hell that they're doing on their dime, and draining Social Security and stuff like that, that's not okay. And that's what I think being in this space and being being able to opt out of traditional fiat money, I think that's really what it's all about, is choosing to say that there's a different way, and I'm going to control my money. And fuck you.
Yeah,
You're
they're gonna
not
have
getting
to ask you and
unless I
me
give it to you.
very nicely for what they believe we owe them. And
Exactly.
unlike the previous years of being audited, where they make me and you do the homework and prove, they're gonna have to come to us, and we're gonna be like, show your work, and we're gonna be able to audit their audit of us. You
Yeah,
know,
we'll
like
be able to
totally different
back audit them.
conversations. Exactly, back audit the
Absolutely.
IRS before they even get to enforce that opposition on us, because we have to choose to pay it. We have to approve this now. They can't just take from me. Even eventually, I will have the private key to my fucking property. They will not be able to seize the private key to my property to be able to garnish my wages that way.
So here's an idea. What if the whole process of doing your taxes at the end of the year, once digital assets and stuff like that progresses, it becomes more widely accepted and stuff like this. What if filing your taxes was a trustless system? That would be interesting.
I mean,
Like filing your taxes, like let's say you're filing your taxes for digital currency and most people are now, I'm saying later on down the road, 20, 30 years, whatever, most people or all people are using digital currencies in some way, shape or form. The IRS, like you said, would have to adapt. That would mean that doing your taxes would probably become some kind of trustless system. It would have to be.
Yeah. It would be
Because you would have to be able to co-audit each other in order for something like that to even work.
Yeah.
And I think that would be very interesting.
Probably using
Thought-provoking.
Oracle technology, the crowd consensus sort of a vibe.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. It would have to be some kind of like it would have to be like auditable and trustless, and you know what I mean? Like it would have to have those kinds of facets to it in order for the IRS to ever make that work. Because like you said, otherwise they're going to be coming to us and they're going to be like, okay, well, can you please show us your stuff?
Well, I'm sure you saw. I think it's under like $2,000 or something like that, or $200. I could have a zero off there, but it's not a taxable event anymore or something. Like when I buy my coffee with Bitcoin, they're not going to consider that like a capital gains or loss or anything, like a taxable event as far as the trade goes.
I think let's go ahead and hope that it's 2,000.
I hope so. But if it is 200, that just means there's a lot of people spending crypto at under $200 transactions so frequently, they actually don't think they could enforce that regulation. So they set the boundary to where they think they can enforce it and where it's worthwhile. Yeah. They'll keep moving that line in the sand. It is not concrete.
Dude, what's crazy is that they're trying to scare everybody so hard. They're trying, if you don't file and check that box on your taxes this year, they're going to come after you. How
Yeah,
are they going to come after?
I would love to see it. I don't have anything in my name.
How are you going to track down millions of people's blockchain transactions through the blockchains that has billions and billions?
I mean, I'm sure Chainalysis is working on it.
Do that kind of thing.
Right. They don't. They've admitted this publicly. I think they have like 3 government employees per government body that are actually like somewhat even educated in the blockchain. Yeah, I don't see many cypherpunks filling out job applications to work at the IRS. They're gonna have a hard time. And I know Chainalysis and other projects are trying to be this tool for the system. But then we have, Samurai Wallet. We have these coin swaps that obfuscate all the hard work that these projects are trying.
I mean, dude, there's Monero. I mean,
yep.
Whenever I need to cash out Bitcoin and I don't want anybody to know about it, I wash my Bitcoin into Monero and then sweep those funds into a brand new paper wallet. Done.
Exactly.
It's gone. How are you going to track that? Especially when I'm going to an ATM with a burner phone that says I'm in another country to get the text message to withdraw the cash from. How are you going to track that? The amount of work that would need to be done to track something like that. And I'm not,
and that's why I'm saying a lot of this will probably not exist.
Your taxes and stuff like that. But there's so many ways that you can dodge that.
Yep.
I just don't think that it's feasible for them to say, we're going to get everyone.
You know who we have to thank for legal alcohol in the United States right now? Moonshiners.
Yeah.
If you have a sip of a beer today, you should thank the criminals of our history, the Moonshiners, because if it wasn't for them, alcohol prohibition would still be a thing.
Hey man, down here in Virginia.
And that's what I mean. We are Bitcoin Moonshiners. I am not paying my taxes. I am going through all those loopholes. I'm riding in my fucking General Lee screaming yeehaw over the Bitcoin, bumps and bounds because there's not much they can do, and they're gonna burn their resources trying their best. I mean, we're gonna see the Federal
Yeah.
Reserve and the IRS burn through so much funding trying to figure out how to do anything about this that
And that's
they're
why
gonna
they
be
want to
gone.
just make it illegal. But at the same time, good luck with that. Everybody can use a VPN. Everybody can use an exchange overseas. Everybody can
We
use
all
an
saw what
exchange
happened with Napster.
wire
How many
KYC.
people in the past 10 years have gone to jail for downloading a movie illegally on the internet? I'll wait. I'll wait. I'll wait, bro, because I get a letter every couple of months from my internet service providers saying that some production company has subpoenaed my IP address for illegally obtaining their
Good luck
intellectual
with that.
property. Yeah, Comcast, Verizon, they're never going to give you my info. You know
No.
why? The moment Verizon bends to that subpoena from whatever production company,
Oh, you could sue the
everybody gets
shit out of them.
Comcast. Everybody's
Yeah.
going to go get Comcast.
Well, not
Nobody
only
gets
that,
Verizon.
you could sue the shit out of them.
And they would end up paying the fines that I would use their services for downloading the movie illegally to begin with.
Exactly.
It's called enabling, Comcast.
And see, that's another thing that should have been regulated. And to an extent, they've kind of done that with the music and the movie industry a little bit, you know, with these streaming services and stuff like that. They've made it easier for people to onboard to get it and have the industries and stuff still get their share and stuff, which is cool. You know, I'm not knocking that, but I mean,
Sony's
yeah, I
definitely
pirate all
ahead of
my
the
movies.
curve. A lot of people give Sony shit for their streaming service, but it's completely free. 100% free for Sony streaming service. Give it 2 years, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, they'll all follow Sony's model.
I got to give it to Disney. Their streaming
wow.
service, I think, is highly underrated. It's a little more pricey, but damn, that shit's
Oh, it
good.
comes with Hulu and ESPN though. So like,
Yeah, it
is-
comes
it's
with
pricey
Hulu.
because
It comes
it's like
with
a little
ESPN. I can watch all the Mandalorian stuff, which is great.
They haven't done the Netflix thing yet, so you could have multiple accounts still on Disney Plus. So I could use your Disney Plus account no matter where you're like living and where I'm living. But if you have Hulu and they find out you're on like a new IP address in a new state, they're like, "Oh, well, you can't do this now." I'm like,
yeah,
"Damn you!"
That's how they catch you. That's how Netflix was to start.
Yeah, I think Netflix gave up on that though. I think
we actually, my friends have the Hulu thing, and then we have Netflix. So since you can have multiple
Barter
people
economy.
watching it, we swapped account information. So now we have both services, and we can all watch it at the same time. So
Did you see the illegal cloud service that was like 500 times larger than Netflix?
no,
That actually might even be a too small of a number, honestly. It may have been even bigger than
what?
that.
What the hell was that? What,
Dude, I don't even know the word they used, but it was like a terabyte or some shit. Like, it was the largest server supply of illegal content. And the end users, this end user service had more end users than Hulu, Netflix, Amazon, all of them added up. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it's free.
It's free and it's huge. And I think I know this one service that plugged into this server was Kodi. So a lot of people use KODI, and that was like having I think back in the day it was like Microsoft Media Player or something, and somebody picked it up and made it something different. But Kodi plugged into this server, so you could download an app called Kodi for free. You would go in, type in this HTTP address, done. Next thing you know, you have live TV, movies. You can watch
They were streaming live TV on there.
TV. Every channel that was on the internet was on this server.
I can't believe I never found out about that because I've been pirating music and movies since Napster. You know, like
same and Napster, Kazaa, LimeWire. But then I got into
Fair share.
BitTorrent, right? Ever since I found uTorrent and BitTorrent and these torrent files and the concept of torrenting.
Yeah.
And torrenting and piracy, like, dude, the laws hate torrenting because it's such a great loophole. I'm getting one piece of the file from a billion people. It's not the same concept. And then they took this concept one step farther and now do streaming through bits. So now I can watch a movie that these little bits are coming from thousands of different people just so I could watch that movie.
And you know what that whole concept is the beginning of, right? What they already, I mean, I hate to bring the whole China thing up again, but in a lot of the Asian countries, that's going to be, they're actually ahead of us in terms of like internet and technology and stuff like that. And that's going to be the next step is we're going to start doing mesh networking. Yep. That's exactly what that is. It's mesh networking. Everybody's using a part of the internet and contributing to it at the same time. And that's what's going to end up happening. There's not going to be Wi-Fi at your store or whatever. There's just going to be Wi-Fi everywhere because everyone is the Wi-Fi.
Yep.
And it's just mesh network. So that's what's going to happen. The only thing that they're concerned about here with developing that is obviously the security risks. So
Yeah, but they're not too worried about the risks of 5G. So I really highly doubt they're going to be too worried
yeah.
about the risks of MeshNet, and that's because the smartphone companies, they want this. Samsung,
Hell yeah.
HP, all these phone developers, they all want to figure out how to do this and monetize that. How do we make money off of doing this? And Facebook
Oh,
tried it.
of
In
course,
I think in
advertising.
Africa, Facebook was they had the drones putting out Wi-Fi in Africa for a long time. Basically, it was giant balloons collecting data from the sky. That's what they were doing, and they were trying to see if we give away internet for free, will we make enough money in data to keep that drone operational? And it sort of looks like, hey, shit, we can give away internet for free and
Yeah.
make a shit ton of money off of doing it. You ever go to Starbucks and connect to their Wi-Fi? It's not free. They're literally mining everything you do on that Wi-Fi, and they're gonna package it and sell it to somebody.
Yeah, everything that you do on and see, and that's where the flaw is with public Wi-Fi, which is why I'm a big proponent of that. Like, I definitely think that we need a next step beyond public Wi-Fi, because everything that says, you're exactly right. Oh yeah, it's free Wi-Fi. And every time you log into that, they're logging your IP. They're taking your information. Anytime that you log into YouTube, they have your credentials. They have your YouTube channel. They're tracking every little tiny thing that you do.
I've
Maybe
seen
not your
cities, or not cities,
keystrokes,
I've seen
but they're
towns.
logging everything. Everywhere that you visit, they're logging that, and they're taking that information and it's going off somewhere,
Yep.
because that little box that you check that says, hey, do you agree to connect to our network? There's a whole slew of little micro fine print on there of terms and conditions that you're agreeing to who knows what. And the who knows what is you're giving them access to your
Yeah,
information
the
to
Willy
track
Wonka
you and to
contract.
resell it.
Yep. I've seen towns in small cities that actually have what is legitimately public Wi-Fi, which is they own it. The citizens, they built
Yeah.
their own internet. The town owns it, not Comcast, not Verizon. The town owns the internet.
Wasn't there a story about a guy that did that?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
town's
yeah.
internet sucked and he built his own
Yes, he did.
internet company in his garage, and he started giving and selling the Wi-Fi. It was like fiber fast.
Yep.
And he started selling it to the other people in the community. That's starting to happen now because networking and stuff, it's not that hard. You can watch a couple videos on YouTube and figure out how to network and put switches in your whole home for
Yep.
10 gig Ethernet.
Now wait for municipals to catch on to this and realize that the city could own their internet, not Comcast, not Verizon. You don't need them. They're unnecessary at this point.
I think what's going to happen is because it's the same thing with where I live up here in Northern Virginia, and Comcast. Like, I'm lucky now that I moved and I have Verizon Fios, which is
Oh,
sweet.
it's so good, isn't it?
It's so awesome. But
You
here
have
in
1
Northern
gig
Virginia,
over 1 gig?
what?
I had 1 gig over 1 gig Fios, bro. It was like living in the future.
Yeah, that's what I have here, and it is fantastic. It is so amazing. I love it. And I think what's going to happen is that in all of the other areas in this part of the state where I've lived, you only have Comcast or Cox, and that's it. And what they do is they have contracts with the counties. Well, not the counties. They have contracts with the zip codes,
Right.
so that they're the only ones that can be providing internet in that
And
area.
those are like 100-year contracts and shit.
Exactly. And that's what's fucked up about it, because at the time we weren't looking 20 years down the road that, hey, guess what? This is going to be obsolete in 10 years. They were just like, oh yeah, this is a good deal. Now we have guaranteed internet for this amount of time.
The benefits
Now
though is
they're starting to realize that they screwed themselves, because there's better shit and the people want better stuff, but they're in a contract and they
But
can't.
we've seen cities, states, and even countries renact on contracts that have gone too long, too far, and have become unnecessary, and even pay to get out of it. So those zip code contracts may be $1 million contracts, may be
really
worth
hope
the
that
pay
they
to get
buy
out
to
of it,
break
though.
them.
Yeah, maybe.
I hope they buy to break them, man, because I mean, just especially like fiber optic and stuff like that, it's just so much faster.
People want to talk about like decentralization and censorship resistance and immutability and all of that being done with Bitcoin on owned IPFS. Yeah, good luck. Good luck. My Bitcoin isn't decentralized because I have to use fucking either AT&T data or Verizon data, and I have to pray that they approve the data package that's going through their services. Otherwise, my Bitcoin transaction that I sent out on my phone goes to their server and nowhere else. It never gets issued to the blockchain.
It'll never get
internet
signed.
service providers to sign. Yeah, so there is a huge barrier of censorship and a vulnerability to decentralization of centralization of the internet itself. That's why I'm big fans of Nexus Earth. I love what Nexus is doing.
Nexus is good.
I'm gonna have Colin on the podcast soon, and I'm just excited to talk to him because I got to chat with him and his dad, and everything
That's
those
cool.
two dudes say was like way over my fucking head. But
Yeah.
I'm just a big fan of trying to decentralize the internet. As anybody trying to do that, dude, you got my attention.
When it was New York Blockchain Week, there was barely anybody in the room for this guy's presentation. I forgot what this guy's name was, but he got up on stage and, he, ripped Mario t-shirt, ripped jeans, long, unkept hair, gets up on this stage. And you may have seen this. This guy was like 23, just got out of MIT. This dude took a Bitcoin transaction and sent it live at the conference. From the conference, sent Bitcoin to somebody that was like in South America, right? What he did was it didn't use the internet.
Oh, ham radio.
Yeah. He converted the Bitcoin transaction into a freaking radio frequency, transmitted it.
That's the hardware wallet I will buy, sir. You
that
make
is
me
friggin'
a radio hardware wallet.
There was nobody in the room for this. There was maybe a half dozen people in the room for this. I saw this. My jaw just hit the floor. I was like, this guy.
You're talking about
just
consensus,
completed
right?
a transaction with digital money without it using the internet.
Unfortunately, he wasn't selling anything to anybody, I bet. That's why the room wasn't full. Unfortunately,
Yeah, the room
New York
was
City
empty.
Blockchain Week, people just want to buy or sell, And if you're just there to be like, hey, this thing exists, let me teach you. Unfortunately, that's going to be the emptiest room, bro, and it sucks. It's so...
Dude, I felt so bad for that guy because you could tell that this guy spent like at least a year or two, multiple years, like figuring out how to do this. He put his...
I've seen a lot of people play around with that even. I think like Charles Hoskins and Adam Beck and a lot of people have played around with these ham radio transactions since then. It definitely inspired a lot.
Dude, yeah. I mean, that has a tremendous use cause. That's still being able to transact value if the shit hits the fan and we get, hit with an EMP
thank you.
that
if we
takes
get
everything
hit with
out.
an EMP, bro, how much is your gold going to be worth compared to my eggs, bread, and milk? Because I think it's going to be a gunshot to your head.
Yeah. How much is your gold worth next to my Glock?
Exactly. How about free? You know what I mean? But you can't just put a gun and shoot me and take my Bitcoin. Private key, encryptions, passwords,
Nope.
bitch.
And especially if something like that happens and you're using, radio frequencies to transact value. Whoa.
Right.
That has...
Could you imagine radio frequency lightning nodes? Lightning channels running just specifically for these radio frequency transactions?
I'm not sure.
Dude, somebody start a pirate radio node right now. I will support you. Pirate radio lightning channel needs to happen.
That should happen, man. I just can't, just that whole concept of what this guy did. It has way larger implications than just for digital assets.
That's
that could be
decentralization, true censorship resistance.
Totally. It would totally make ACH transactions and wires like a thing of the past. Like there wouldn't be a need for that anymore. You wouldn't need that.
Now we could get the tinfoil hats on a little tight and start to talk about the security risks and the types of attacks that could be done while the transactions are in the air because you're signing the transaction during that process.
The aliens are going to get
I've seen people at conferences use pineapples to show people how they could steal Bitcoin in the air, and it does freak me out quite a bit. It's like, oh, well, I just got your private key.
That you can do it?
Yeah, it's like, oh, I just got your private key while you signed the transaction in the air, buddy. And I'm like, oh, that's some sketchy shit. Like, because you're using their pineapples. You're connecting to their router that's connecting to the router that you thought you were connecting to that's actually on the network. So all that data is going through their pineapple. They depackage it, and they can see it. And I'm just like, okay, so some of this stuff, it's still pretty scary.
I mean, I understand some of that, but at the end of the day, the only people that are looking for those kind of vulnerabilities are either one, the people that are working in the security field, or two, the people that know enough about it that they're trying to fuck people and get their money and steal it. That's how I feel that is like, if you're that hardcore into it where you really feel that it's necessary to like run your own node, sign your own and do it that way, more power to you. But especially for me being a trader, man, that is so beyond me
Right.
technically. Like I wouldn't even
That's
have
why I like that Bitcoin
the
saying be your own
ability to
bank. It's
do
an
it.
option. It's an option. You don't have to be your own bank, but you can. You can be the miner. You can be the
Mm-hmm.
node. You can do all. You can participate in every leg of this
Yeah, you
ecosystem.
can do it all yourself. And that's honestly about with the entire thing. I mean, we're all here to make money and we're all here to see this grow. I mean, I would be lying if I, as a trader, I said I wasn't in it for the money, right? But there's also a second part to that. And I think there's a real stigma around traders and stuff like me is because, this is why traders and stuff don't speak at conferences.
Good
They're
point.
outspoken. Oh, you're not for the tech. You're just here
Yep.
to trade it and make money. And I feel like that's kind of fucked up because I mean, being in this space for so long, the technology just wows me. Like everything that comes out every single day, every time there's a development, every time a cool technology puts out a blog post or their new roadmap and roadmap updates and stuff like that. I mean, it's so fascinating being being in the space and watching all of that stuff progress so much. And I feel like it's kind of screwed up to like just kind of generalize all traders and be like, you suck, you're in it for the money. And it's like,
Right.
come on, bro. Like, yeah, sure,
It's
you're in the
a
space too,
it's
you're
a Dr.
marketing something,
Jekyll
you're
and
making money.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde sort of an environment for traders in crypto. Not so much all traders, but once traders start trading in crypto, that split personality starts to get more and more fuel, and it starts to go more and more like anarchist, libertarian, futurist. Holy shit! What am I trading? What am I investing? What is this? It's a Trojan horse of awakening moment that you can't not. If you're trading crypto, you're a crypto not. You're a cypherpunk now by default because you trip and fell down one rabbit hole, and halfway down it
Yeah.
just continues down this new one that you can't stop. The momentum is just too strong. And I do want to
I
kind of
think what one of my favorite projects in the space in terms of going down the rabbit hole and learning how that shit really worked, the two most favorite ones that I actually dove in and actually had to look up how the math worked and actually do research to even understand these two white papers because I'm not very technically inclined like that, is the BAT token, but more importantly and even more technical than that is the 0x protocol.
Zero X is epic.
And it
That's
is epic. When I was doing research on those two tokens, well, it's a token, but the 0x is a protocol. Most people are using it and they don't even realize
yeah.
that
That's
they're
what I was just
using
gonna
it.
say. The protocol is way more used
Yeah.
than the token or coin or whatever you want to call it. But
But
yeah,
like the BAT project, dude, advertising and marketing, oh man,
somebody
that is
mentioned
going
that in
to
the
be
chat earlier. But yeah,
that's going to be like the internet's kryptonite, man. Like that's going to change the entire marketing,
yep.
internet marketing aspect of everything.
I
It's gonna.
guarantee it.
I
The
think it's.
middleman for marketing
I want
is
to
the
see it take down
advertisers.
Facebook.
It will.
I want
No,
to
it
see it
will.
take down
Facebook makes
Facebook.
all their money through ads. Why would
Mm-hmm.
companies advertise paying Facebook when they could just pay me?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why would they?
Exactly.
Why are they doing this? It makes no sense.
The BAT token has the ability to make the Facebook advertisements go fucking bankrupt.
Yep.
And I would love to see Mark Zuckerberg get stuck with that. I would love to see that.
Yeah, I mean that's probably when we'll start to see Facebook monthly subscriptions pop up right around that. You'll see
Whatever happened with LibreCoin?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, Librecorn was suffocated out due to their investors being strong-armed by the government.
Yeah.
Our government was like, "Oh, you're investing in Librecoin. All right, well, expect an audit." And they're like, we're not investing in Librecoin anymore." And they're like, "Okay, we canceled that audit."
Yeah.
Yeah, they were
Yeah,
gonna freeze funds and
the
shit.
government was because they're already scared enough of Bitcoin. They're really scared about what would happen if something like that happened.
Well, Librecoin is in a position much better than Bitcoin as far as mass adoption worldwide currency goes. I mean, Facebook already has fucking half of the entire world as an end user, and we have 1% of the world fucking with Bitcoin. So,
and that was the issue with the whole LibreCoin thing. I wrote an article about that. It was on one of my old Medium accounts. Is that is it truly a decentralized cryptocurrency? And the answer is no, it's not. I mean, the interview with the dude that was going to be developing it with Mark Zuckerberg, he straight up said, no, it's not decentralized. And the reason why, well, why isn't it decentralized? Well, if it's onboarding people that have credit cards, bank accounts, social security, there's KYC for all that. The only way for you to onboard and offload Libra coin or whatever cryptocurrency back into and out of fiat money is through legit bank accounts and stuff.
Yeah,
There
and
has to
whitelisting addresses, right? You wouldn't be
yeah,
able to send me Libra coin to my address because I can't get a Libra coin address without submitting KYC. Or even if I did get a
exactly.
wallet that supported the currency, you wouldn't be able to transfer it to me because it would say, "Oh, this address isn't whitelisted approved," and it would just stop the transaction because
Yeah.
it's centralized.
Yeah, so like if I want to transfer, if I traded a whole bunch of Bitcoin into Libra coin, and then I want to send that to, convert it back into Bitcoin and send it to a paper wallet, forget it, not going
Yeah,
to happen.
probably not. You're probably going to
No,
be stuck with that Libra. It's going to be like
yeah, you get stuck with
a
it.
one-way road, I'd imagine. You can only get Libra coin. I don't think you'd be able to sell Libra coin. You may be able to
I think
trade
you
it or
can. I
whatever,
think the whole
but
concept was so that you could put it back into USD. But I think the concept was that like Libra coin was going to be meant to be like as like kind of a stable coin. Like it's like a digital currency, but it's like not really a digital currency. It's just like your money for it's just your dollars convert into like Facebook dollars,
right.
basically. Like
And they were
you
gonna
know,
back that ledger with like multiple different currencies from all around the world. It's a different concept. I mean, hey, anybody thinking up cool things and putting the ideas out there into the ethos, cool. Because somebody else is
yeah,
gonna do it and probably do a better job, a more humanistic approach to it than a corporatistic approach. So LibreCoin's concept is out there. It's an idea. It exists. Somebody like Satoshi could come up and do it. We could see a stable coin that's backed by Bitcoin. I've always
yeah,
imagined we will see a USD B token or a BUSD token that's
yeah.
always worth $1 worth of Bitcoin, regardless of Bitcoin's volatility. This coin through smart
That would be
contracts is
interesting.
redeemable for $1 worth of Bitcoin, and
That
that
would be
way.
a very interesting thing
Well,
to
without
actually
that,
have.
we don't have mass adoption because when you look at the register, the cash, the gas, and everything, society has always dabbled with multiple decimals. Two is all we can
Yeah.
handle as humans. Facts. When it comes to finance, we have 2 decimal points that we can use. Done. So we need
It's like
something
that.
similar to that
What was that
representation on
video?
the
Somebody posted
price
it.
tag.
Well, there was a video that represented this whole like adoption thing really well. Like this guy was like in the salt flats in Bolivia, and there was like this one guy with a lemonade stand. You remember? Did you ever see that?
The YouTube video, Lemonade Coin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
lemon coin.
yeah, Lemon Coin.
Dude,
He's in a desert and shit. Yes.
love. Well, I said salt flats because I've my wife is actually from Bolivia, so
Yeah,
I've
he
been.
said salt flats, and I'm like, do you mean desert, bro?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it technically is a desert, but it was filmed in the salt flats. I recognize it because I've been there a couple times. And yeah, the whole lemon coin thing. If anybody hasn't seen that YouTube video, please go watch it. That is so
Please, yeah, go
awesome.
Google Lemon Coin. That's it. Yeah, Lemon Coin.
Yeah,
That's all you got to look
yeah.
up.
Google or YouTube lemon coin. That video is so awesome. The ending was totally unexpected, and that's really how adoption works. And what's crazy about that video is that with all of these different technologies that are coming out, we see that kind of thing happen every day. Like all of a sudden, bam, there's a use case for it that's huge. And we see that happening every day. And, even on the news on CNBC, everybody knocks CNBC, but one of the guys on there, I forgot what his name was. He actually nailed it. He was like, one of the other anchors asked him, well, is Bitcoin going to be the end all be all for, cryptocurrency? Is Bitcoin always going to be the big one? No, it's not. Like
It'll
over
always be the
time, as
first.
more things develop, there's going to be a flippening. We
Yep.
just don't know what coin that is yet. Could it be Bitcoin Cash? Could it be BSV even? Who knows? We have no idea what it could be, but a flippening could happen. We don't know when, we don't know how, we don't know why, but eventually with the way that technology is progressing, I mean, dude, in 30 years, we went from no TV to flat screens. I mean, it's ridiculous. So
And
with how
and
fast
how
technology,
fast Bitcoin Core can innovate, you're right. It's probably
yeah,
going to be something else.
something's going to happen. Some other technology is going to come along that's still based off of blockchain tech, but it's going to be faster. It's going to be smarter. You're going to be able to store things on the blockchain. There's going to be, it's going to be a trustless system and permissionless and decentralized. Something's going to have the whole package that comes along. It's going to overtake it eventually.
Now to appease the Bitcoin maximalists watching, I will say that it could be Bitcoin. Bitcoin could be the next Bitcoin, but the current Bitcoin that you know and love and use today, It's not that this Bitcoin will not be the mainstream mass adopted Bitcoin of tomorrow. It
No,
has
it
to
won't
keep
be.
changing, and if it doesn't,
And
something else will do
and
it
the
better.
only reason why it won't be is because the scalability problems.
Yep.
And that was the same issues that Ethereum was facing. I mean, obviously Ethereum and Vitalik have come up with ways of getting around that and fixing it and improving it. But there's really no way to fix, like, I mean,
Oh yeah, crypto seed card
coming
trick,
from a very
Litecoin.
technology inept person here. I'm a trader, so maybe there is a way to make Bitcoin scalable. But as far as I'm concerned and what I've heard and read, it's either not possible or extremely difficult to do because of the
And
way that
somebody
it's set
mentioned
up.
Litecoin is a good potential, and yeah, Litecoin has the
Yeah.
most potential in my opinion to flip Bitcoin. Especially when we see Litecoin innovate and evolve a lot quicker than Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin would still probably not even have Segwit if it wasn't for Litecoin. So keep an eye on
What is
Litecoin and
Litecoin at
Mimblewimble.
right now? Like
Underappreciated as fuck.
Litecoin is hitting historical resistance at a cool 68.50. Nice.
Super underappreciated in my opinion.
Oh yeah, dude. I thought Bitcoin, with how fast Bitcoin has gone up, honestly, looking at the Litecoin chart, I really thought that Litecoin would have been a lot higher by
So
now.
here's my trader mentality, and no, I am not a fucking expert. This is not financial advice. This is just speculation on my opinion. But when I see prominent coins in the top five don't move and Bitcoin does, those are the ones I usually diversify back into to kind of hold my profits and try to ride another wave. So if Bitcoin goes
Yeah.
up 20-30% and Litecoin hasn't fucking moved past 5% gains with it, yeah, I might take some Bitcoin, put it in the Litecoin, and wait for the Bitcoin to come down a couple percent, and inevitably Litecoin will go up.
What's crazy is that
I
Litecoin's
ride it like a
low.
seesaw.
What Litecoin's low this year was like $35, and the last time it was at that price level, it shot all the way up to $146.
Yep.
The time before that it was at that price, it shot all the way up to $400. So Litecoin has not had, I mean, it's basically doing the same thing that Bitcoin is doing. It's getting higher lows progressively over the years. And since we just saw that again, then I would expect that if we broke $140 from our previous high, which in retrospect would be Bitcoin's 14K, then yeah, I think they're both going to make new all-time highs
And
over
this is
time.
where math becomes a quantum complex problem of you might make dollars, but are you losing satoshis while you're doing it?
Oh my God.
So hard, bro. Like,
Yes
I
and
hate
no.
seeing BTC USD pairing. I just wish all exchanges would just eradicate the USD pairing option and maybe even supplement it with gold if you had to. But like, I hate seeing dollars to crypto as a pairing. It's too confusing at the end of the day for people that are actually trying to stack sats.
Well, here's the thing. If you want to, and this is a little tip for anybody watching that kind of dabbles in trading, or like even for you, because you do most like investing, you said, right? So if stuff's paired with USD, and most of it is, what I do personally as a trader is, like, Bitcoin's going up right now. Like, I don't have, since I think 8,200, I haven't had any Bitcoin in USD or in Tether or any of that. As soon as we broke $8,200, I spot bought all of the rest of my Bitcoin back into, in my USDT and my dollars, put it back into Bitcoin. And the other stuff that I already had was on the exchange so I could short and long it, right? But the most of it was, either tethered out or whatever. We broke 8,200. I bought Bitcoin with the rest back in. Most of that is still just sitting at spot. When this finally runs out of steam and it reverses, what I'm going to do is do the same thing I did when it was on the way up. I'm going to hedge myself, take half of my Bitcoin, put it into tether myself out or put it into USDT, short the rest of it, wait for it to come all the way down. And then when it reverses again, you buy it all back again. And when you do that and you're hedging yourself, you're making money exponentially because half of your portfolio is always going to be either tethered out or on spot. So, buy high, buy low, sell high. I was about to say the opposite.
That's what it feels like. That's actually what happens sometimes when you go into the buy low, sell high.
I've done it.
You go into it with that strategy, and somehow you ended up buying high and selling low, and it's like, This is like a quantum matrix of
Yeah.
fucking, math
Just,
over
I mean,
here.
just general rule of thumb for me is that if Bitcoin is in an uptrend, then even what I'm holding on my trading portfolio is going to be in Bitcoin. If Bitcoin is going down, then at least half of my trading portfolio is in Tether or USD, and then the rest of it I'm using to short it or whatever.
I was always too afraid to fuck with Tether, and I'm kind of happy for it and sad at the same time. Because, like, Bitcoin hit 22K, and I'm looking at it like, oh, I could sell this in a Tether. And then I'm like, nah. And I hodled it all the way to hell down. And I'm like, and then you see all this Tether scammy stuff. And I'm like, well,
Yeah.
I'm just happy. I know that I wouldn't have lost, I probably would have made or saved money, but I'm just happy I didn't support Tether by, going into it from Bitcoin. And then I look at how much I lost by not doing it. I'm like, damn, damn.
And Tether's still there.
And it's still there, exactly. I'm
Still
like,
there.
damn. I
I mean,
kind of
trust
wish I
me,
had
when it
more
comes to
faith in it.
Tether, I really do not like using Tether because of the
I'm
whole
just saying,
sketchy
I was
thing.
more worried of Tether volatility being, existing or not than I was worried about Bitcoin volatility at 22K. I was
Yeah.
like, all right, I'll just hold Bitcoin because I don't know if Tether will be around tomorrow because of, all the mainstream, media talking about it. It's a scam. It's
Yeah.
not backed by anything.
The
It's
New
gonna.
York Attorneys General, oh my God, they're
And they
suing
kept
Bitcoin.
firing all their auditors, which didn't help me any at all with like having peace of mind. Then I realized, well, all an audit is a bullshit approval process. That's just a legal way of saying extortion. Oh, you're gonna get audited. You approved to being extorted, and I'm just like, eh. I know. Okay, so great. I want Tether to be one thing when it's the other and not the other. So what I'm trying to get at is I respect Tether for doing what they do and just hope that they aren't what the mainstream projects them to be. I know that they came out and publicly stated that they're not backed by USD completely. They do have cryptocurrencies and loans that they use based on those loans and those
Yeah.
holdings is where their USDT comes from. So
That still makes me kind of uneasy about doing it. The only reason why I do it is because the exchange that I trade on, that's just the easiest thing for me to get in and out of. That's a safe haven in case there's a quick
bro,
sharp
look what
price
happened to
movement.
Dai recently, man. Like I
You
got
know?
stuck with their fake ass fork of Dai, that SAI stuff.
Uh-oh. You got stuck
Yeah.
with Saya coin?
I don't know. I didn't merge in time or something.
Was
I
it
don't.
Saya or was
Saya
it?
coin, yeah, Sai or whatever. And now I have some Dai, but I have some Sai and I can't do shit with it. So that's the one of the things I was worried about with these like stable coins is eventually exchanges would probably delist them. I'd be stuck with this thing that doesn't have any support on any. So like, I just stuck with Bitcoin, but then Anyway, I do have one question.
Is it called Saya coin?
I know it's SAI or something. It's just an S instead of a D.
Huh.
And I see it in my MetaMask wallet, and it just pisses me off because it keeps telling me to merge it, and then I hit merge, and it's like, you waited too long. And I'm like, then just disappear
What?
already. Go away. Just stop showing
Oh
me
my
you
God.
exist. I do have one question from the chat to kind of wrap things up on this topic, which is actually a good topic to wrap up on. So thank you, MJAI. The comment is, and I'm going to form it into a question, but says, yeah, I've been screwed using bots like VenBot, JuneBot, 3 commas, but the works of GooseX is some impressive work. Have you ever heard of GooseX bot and or any other bots people should maybe keep an eye out on that are good or not good?
So I have heard of GooseX bot, and I've heard of, well, the 3 commas thing. First off, the 3 commas thing is a little more. You can make your own, I guess, algos on that. I played around with it for a while. There's like other algos that people have made that you can copy trade them, and then there's algos that you can figure out and make on your own. The GooseX bot, I think you can it's based off of one algorithm and then you can kind of modify it to your own liking. And then VenBot is something that we actually use in our group, in the Edge group. We use that to auto trade our signals with. And basically, how that works, that's not based off of algorithms. That's based off of our actual traders' inputs and stuff. I think the GooseX bot does that as well, where they have like some traders that are like affiliated with them, and then they put signals out, and you can trade those on there as well. So VenBot also works like that. I think we're in our group, and then I think there's one other group, Pastor's group, I think, that uses that as well. We're actually the developers at VenBot. We're actually working really closely with them because they're integrating the Dudex exchange with VenBot now, which is awesome. So being partnered, since our company is partnered with Dudex, we're integrating all of our signals that we do for Bitcoin, those will be auto traded for our users onto the Venbot as well.
Okay.
So bot trading, algorithmic trading, and stuff like that, I'm not really too big on algorithmic trading. It's just not really my thing. At the end of the day, like the whole, I don't know, just I don't really trust an algorithm to do some, you know what I mean? Like sometimes there's human emotion that goes into trading that I think you kind of need. It can be a good and a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
And a computer is never going to have any kind of emotion whatsoever. It's literally just.
So if you have more bad emotion reactions than good, you may want to set up a bot.
Yeah, but at the same time, with how volatile these digital assets are, sometimes that can screw you too. Sometimes you could get screwed by the volatility. If that algorithm isn't fucking perfect, you could get really screwed. Or you see one super huge candle that wicks up and then it enters into a long and then it turns right back down. So like there's certain things that like a bot isn't going to be able to do that a human can do. There's certain things that a human can't do that a bot can do. So it's kind of, neither here nor there for me. Like I'm not going to be able to get in and get out of a trade, in split seconds like a bot can, because a bot's utilizing API. It's done with a computer. I can't do that. So that's awesome. But at the same time, it's like, sometimes that could screw you. So yeah, but I have heard of all three of those. I don't really recommend one over the other. I know that there's a couple others out there. There's Gunbot, there's Hasbot.
I was gonna say Gunbot's a popular one. I see.
Yeah, Gunbot and Hasbot. I think those are like the two most popular ones. Goosex is coming up. Venbot is really coming up. The developers over at Venbot are doing a great job, honestly, in my opinion. So, yeah.
I had a little bit of a chat with Crow. If you guys know the crypto Crow over there, he has the Crow's Nest exchange and he has a bot and stuff. And I was at the conference he did, Chainwise, I think it was, and yeah, there's a lot of interest in for what, like $400 million. Fuck Goldman Sachs.
A lot.
But I used to do like 1 to 2% every day, reoccurring Bitcoin loans. Yep. And I saw somebody mentioned loans in the chat and was wondering if we could educate them a little bit about loans. But I mean, you could use Celsius Network. I think Salt Lending might still be a thing. I don't know. But
even for US users, I mean, do you have did you ever get like the crypto.com card, the little card and stuff?
So I can't unfortunately.
It does require KYC.
So I've got enough. I have a passport. I have a driver's license. I just don't have any bills in my name, unfortunately.
Oh, you don't need that. You don't need that. You just need like a driver's license.
No, I tried. I submitted my driver's license, submitted my passport, and they still
really.
Crypto.com asked me for proof of address with a utility bill in my name, and I'm like, I don't have any bills in my name at all whatsoever.
Yeah, I know. I think they did do that. I've got utilities bill.
I've reached out to them and asked for help, and I was even with them in person all week in Miami, and not one person from their team came to talk to me at all. Not even to shake my hand. I know, right? So like, fuck Crypto.com.
Because like their card, like I got it. I just got the
yeah. But tell me how that interest rate doesn't seem like a BitConnect event waiting to happen, and I'll let myself explain first. What Crypto.com is doing with their CMO coin or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's MCO.
MCO. That
MCO,
is
and then there's like a CRO token.
That is a BitConnect investment opportunity for you.
I hope
the
not.
amount of hear me out. The amount of interest you can acquire by getting their highest level tiered card is unsustainable.
Yeah. It's like 18%.
If you can lock that shit in today, bro, and get it today, do it. And if they fucking screw you over, they're in short. You can sue them. Class action lawsuit or the 18% return. Either way, bro, you have a safe investment with Crypto.com. You're either going to get your money with the class action lawsuit when they fuck everybody over, or that 18% is going to be your life-saving grace in 5 years.
I haven't been using their earn stuff, although I know obviously that they do that. That's like a big like selling feature of their thing. I used it and I got their little blue card. I didn't stake any of their tokens yet because I'm still like using the card and just testing it out.
Sounds like that Lemonade coin, like slavery with extra steps.
Basically. So what I did was I got their card and, I transferred some Bitcoin off an exchange, put into a wallet, swept it into my onto my crypto.com.
Are they non-custodial, by the way? Because I can't get it to work without that. Is it like you get your private key when you send them the Bitcoin, or is it like Coinbase?
I think it's more like Coinbase.
So I
It's
use
more like
BitPay.
Coinbase.
BitPay, actually, I have my
Yeah.
Bitcoin private key.
It's
And
similar to that. And what I thought was really cool is that since it's just like, a normal debit card and stuff, there's no fees for me to transfer Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency and exchange them into one another. There's no fee for me to put Bitcoin and top up my card. There's no fee for me to take the money that's on the card and then repurchase Bitcoin with it
and when there's
or
no
fund the card from
fees,
an
what?
external bank
There's
account.
no fees on Facebook. There's no fees on Google. Where are they making the
Mhm.
money, bro? Where are they making the money? All those transactions, all that
Advertising and all the
data.
people that are staking their token.
Yep.
All the
They're
people that are staking their token is pretty much how that's going.
and the
But I
unsustainability
do
part
like
comes
that
into
I
when
can go
people
out
stop.
and not be super like you said a Bitcoin burden where like you have to go because you can use it on a card. So I thought that would be
Yep.
kind of cool for you if
I
you can
do it with BitPay, but
get one of them.
unfortunately, it still takes a little bit because I actually have the private keys. I own the Bitcoin, so when I send
Yeah,
the Bitcoin to BitPay to get the cash on my card, they have to wait for at least one confirmation, and sometimes
yeah,
with BTC that could take a while. BitPay, the Visa card, also now supports Bitcoin Cash. So
that's pretty cool.
I've been using Bitcoin Cash in like those like when my friends are like, "Hey, we're going out to eat," I'm like, "Shit, all right, I gotta put cash on my BitPay card." I'll use Bitcoin Cash because I know within the next couple minutes I'll be able to spend my money.
So how easy is it to get a BitPay card versus the crypto.com card then
I
if you
see.
don't need a
I don't know if it's because I'm an influencer and BitPay's a lot more fucking cool than Crypto.com is with hooking people up, but all
yeah.
they needed was my driver's license and that was it. And I did come across an issue with proof of address, and I don't know if I'll get BitPay in trouble for this, but I emailed them, their support team. I was like, "Hey, I'm Ken Bozak. Like, this is me. I'm a public figure. I'm not like a random anonymous account being
Yeah, not
created.
a random guy.
Right. I don't have any proof of address at all. Here's my passport. Here's my driver's license, like stuff like that. And I got my card in the mail within 3 days.
Yeah. Well, it was also probably because you were straight up and honest with them and you were like, look, I don't have that, but I've got all this.
I did the same thing with crypto.com, and I'm just like, I really want to use their card. Like, everybody I know is using it.
They
And
have an exchange too, and US customers can't use the exchange, which kind of pisses me off.
well, that's the
So
US, man. I mean, I can't, and I never fault a company when they can't work with the US. I
I
always
don't I
say
don't fault
who
them
the
for it
blame is.
either, but it was kind of like false advertising. Like they were doing
Of
all the
course.
that here
Yep.
and
Oh,
it
they
made
have ads
here.
everywhere in Miami, and nobody can use their exchange. It's pretty ironic,
Exactly.
and
It
that's
was
why
just
I get
like
that BitConnect vibe, bro. You can't
yeah,
deny the
like
BitConnect
in New
vibe.
York. Remember when at the New York conference, BTSE was there promoting their exchange, having people sign up. Can't use their exchange in the US. So much for that.
Yeah.
Thanks for making me sign up for your exchange I can never use.
And bro, wait for this. How long until you think that their card won't be able to be used by U.S. citizens? I mean,
What,
seriously.
the crypto.com card?
How long do you think until the U.S. says that card isn't
I'm
usable in the U.S.?
that I don't know because since they make you do KYC and they're partnered with Visa, I'm not sure
I don't think
because
it's
they
gonna.
have Visa logos.
Yeah,
Let
but
me
you know who's been partnered with Visa a lot longer? Wells Fargo, Western Union, TD
and
Bank.
I don't care if you guys see my name. I don't give a shit. But that's the
That is
card.
such a nice card, dude.
It's
Don't
right,
show us
and
the.
this is the free
Don't
one.
show me the back of it. Oh my god, that was so close. You scared
That's the
me.
free one. Well, I mean, I don't have any money on this anymore, but
Oh, okay, cool,
it's
cool,
cool,
cool.
and it has the little NFC thing that's on there. It has the
Yeah, I
NFC.
like that. I can't do that with my BitPay card, which is weird. It's so weird that I have a futuristic Visa card that uses crypto money and I can't use like NFC to tap and pay.
Yeah.
Irony.
That's what I like. Like the features with the card are super nice.
They are.
And that's what I like because it's so simple to use. It's so easy to use. So it's one of those things that, like promotes adoption and stuff like that. Plus it's a physical product. They have their own token. They're partnered with Visa and they've got all those things going for them. But at the same time, it's like, I kind of want access to my private
Do you know
keys.
there's a
I kind of want to be able to
smart
click
debit
on the
card.
transaction when I'm
Oh
funding
shit.
my card with
What's
Bitcoin.
it
And I
called?
kind of want to be able to see that transaction on the blockchain. Can't do that. It's just a non-clickable thing. It just
Right.
says pending, so it's kind of those are the kind of gripes that I have with it. But besides those two things, I actually like it. It works just like my normal debit card. It's awesome.
It would be, and it's just so much easier when you find a place that accepts it. You don't have to
Yeah.
like go through these hoops. And for me, being like all in on crypto, I have the businesses I go to, or if I'm in like Miami for Blockchain Week, I'll open up a map and try to find businesses that accept it, make little pins while I'm visiting an area, and that's where I'm going to go and shop because I don't have to do any transactions. I don't have any extra fees associated. I didn't have to sell anything and wait anything. It's just, hey, you accept Bitcoin, cool, give me stuff. here's the Bitcoin, and I leave.
That's awesome.
But when you walk into a store that doesn't
I mean, you
accept
got all those
Bitcoin,
passes right there on your wall.
yeah.
That's awesome.
You know, when you walk into a store though, and I'm sure you probably got this if you ever used that card, they're like, "What the fuck is that?" Like, you know what I mean? Like, the cashier's like, "What is that card?" And mine says BitPay, and it has like bit right on it, so it looks very crypto. So when I
Yeah.
swipe it, they're like, "What?" And I show them, I'm like, "Yeah, it's a Bitcoin debit card," and the cashier is just like, "We accept Bitcoin," and I'm like, "Well, let's talk."
Well, you do now.
Exactly, you do now. Exactly.
I had a couple questions like that when I started walking around using that card too. They were looking at me like, I've never seen a Visa card like this. What is this thing? And I'm like, oh, I just paid you with Bitcoin.
Yeah, I
They're like,
love
wait,
watching the light bulb
what?
go off on people like, wait, you can use this stuff? I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Oh
dude.
yeah, that was pretty much the reaction I got. You know, people were looking at me like, wait a minute, that's not just like like an internet fad. You can actually use that. And I was like, yeah, I just did. You just swiped my card for dinner, so
Yep.
you know.
Probably one of my favorite use cases for crypto is like blowing a cashier's mind or like a waitress.
Yeah, man. You just see their
Because you
eyes
give
light
them
up.
the
They're
card.
like,
Like a waitress walks away with my card and she comes back or he comes back and they're like, I've never seen a what is this? And I'm like, well, do you want to download a Bitcoin wallet like Monarch? I'll send you some crypto for a tip. And
there you
I'll
go.
be honest though, like and I do this. I tip in cash or whatever. If I tip, I do normal tipping. But I always offer to give that same exact tip in crypto. So if I give a 20% tip, I always offer the waitress a chance to get a 40% tip.
Do
And
they
I feel
take
like
it?
50-50. It's
That's actually pretty high.
I honestly can't say that it's more or less than that because, and I will tell you this, it's females that are more likely to accept it than the males. And I don't know if
Really?
it's because I'm a guy talking to another guy about money, or if it's because a guy talking to a girl about finance is more way more likely to get her to download a Bitcoin wallet than I am to get him to do one.
That's interesting.
Isn't it? Yeah.
That's interesting because you'd think that a dude, you know, like men are mostly like money
Tech nerds.
oriented. You know what I mean? You'd think that a dude would be like, oh, another way to do money, huh? I want to know. Like, I mean, that would be my first instinct is, wait, there's another way to do this whole money thing.
I don't know the psychological aspects of this, but I would love to see like a psychologist do an experiment where they just go up to random people and ask them if they would do and see if they can get, you know, statistics out of this of ages and sex and maybe even like nationality or origin, like
age ranges.
People that come to America from outside of America are way more likely to embrace a currency like Bitcoin than people that were born and raised here in America because they see fiat works great for them. They don't realize how
the dollar
shitty
is the
fiat
only thing that most people have ever known. So
oh, I love when I'm in other countries like fucking Europe or Spain or so wherever, like Hong Kong, and they're talking to me about how do you use Bitcoin? I'm like, how are you using the US dollar? You flew here from America. You're in Hong Kong. How are you going to use your US dollar? Oh, I just swiped my same shit. I just swiped my card.
It's the same thing. And that's why I don't understand with some people. There's like this mental block, like, oh, I don't understand. Like, how is it possible to use that? It's like, that's why I love, you know, like you said, like when you go somewhere and you actually use like a crypto card or something, it's friggin' awesome because you see their eyes light up and the wheels start turning.
I had this
and you're
moment
like,
happen to me in
now
Portland,
you get it.
where my eyes widened and a light bulb clicked. I was in Portland in a supermarket, like not a little shopping mall, like a supermarket, huge supermarket. And people were walking in with goods that they were giving, not buying. They literally walked into the supermarket and was like, here's a bushel of apples, and they've got credits to go get milk, bread, and eggs by bringing shit into the supermarket, bro. The barter economy in Portland,
barter, yeah.
blew my, I knew that it was a thing. I thought cavemen did that shit. I never saw people with electricity bartering apples for eggs and shit, especially in like a business environment where if you didn't have anything to bring, yeah, you could buy the apples that guy just brought and trade it for the eggs, or you could bring in pomegranates or oranges and trade that.
What?
Yes. So like when I saw the barter economy in Portland, I was like, these guys are ready for tokenization. They're so ready for
they're ready for that.
For like
if
an
they're going
Apple
back
coin
to
or
the
lemonade
barters
coin.
because That's like almost, I mean, it's not the whole idea behind cryptocurrency, but it's way easier to spread adoption to a community that is like utilizing the
I mean,
barter
dude, the
system
proof of
instead.
work behind the apples that guy brought in is the same concept and
Yo.
conversation I could have about the sats that he could bring in by proof of work.
Yo, the proof of work of the apples. That's like the
How much
that's like the
water
quote of
went
the
into it,
podcast.
how much sunlight went into it, how much the land cost. I mean, bro, there's the miners, the nodes, the electricity, the hash. The proof of work is there,
Are they using solar panels? Jesus Christ.
right? And
That is definitely the quote of the podcast, man. That's awesome. The
thank
proof of
you.
work for the apples. That's awesome.
Appreciate it, guys. Hey, we definitely have gone on a little longer than intended.
Oh, way longer,
I
man.
apologize
Good
for taking
times,
up too
though.
much of your time there. Let's see. Cash App is the poor man's. Yeah, okay.
What do you
funny.
say?
Is the poor man's lion? I don't know exactly what it means, but it's just funny to see Cash App is the poor man's anything. To be honest, Cash App has a really interesting origin story. They weren't always called the Cash App. The reason they changed their name was because the users decided that's what the name was, and the company ended up bowing to the will of the users. Yeah, people have just hey, you have that Cash App thing, and eventually I don't even know the original name, but I know that it wasn't Cash App. It was stupid.
You know who I'm surprised, which company that's actually really big now that hasn't started using blockchain yet? I'm really surprised Venmo hasn't gotten into it.
I'm sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure
you think that Venmo would have gotten on this first because they didn't have to build a platform. They already had a platform.
You know Venmo's owned by PayPal, right?
Oh,
that's
no,
why. Yeah, that's why.
That's why.
Right
okay. Yeah. Well, that solves that problem.
PayPal is Bitcoin in PayPal's eyes, right? So PayPal accepting Bitcoin is like Netflix. It was like you going to Blockbuster and buying a Netflix membership. Blockbuster wouldn't sell Netflix gift cards.
I didn't know that I didn't know that they were owned by PayPal.
Yeah, I found this out when my PayPal account got suspended because me and my friends like to send funny memos when you send each other money. So like I'll send you Bitcoin and I need money, so you'll send me PayPal because I need money. Well, my friends would write dumb shit like thanks for the dick pics in the memos, and PayPal froze my account thinking I'm like an illegal like sex worker or something.
God, they thought that you were like selling porn or something.
Yeah, and then Venmo got shut down at the same exact time, and then I was like, oh, these are the same people.
Yeah, is Venmo not currently working? Still?
Not for me. I can't use I can't use Venmo or.
Well,
PayPal.
no, Venmo for me. Like me and my wife, I had Bitcoin, and I was gonna. My wife was like, "Hey, I'm short. I need money for whatever." So I was gonna send her a couple $100 on Venmo.
Just don't say thanks for the Bitcoin in the notes.
Well, no, it wasn't even that. All of a sudden, one day, I just couldn't use it. It wouldn't work from my bank account. It wouldn't work from my checking card. Nothing. It wouldn't work from PayPal. Nothing.
So
it
they
was
just flagged you for no reason.
Wow. I don't know why.
See, I don't use Cash App either for this reason.
Because I used my crypto.com card?
There you go. If you linked your crypto.com card to it, possibly.
Holy shit. Wow. Venmo, if you're watching, that's really shitty.
It is. And this is why I won't use Cash App.
That's really
Cash
shitty.
App's really
You charged me fees to use my crypto.com card and then blacklisted me for using your service, even though you made money off of me. That's really shitty. Fuck you, Venmo.
Yep.
That's messed up.
That's why I try to like wake people up to a lot of these things that they think are good alternatives to having a bank account. They're like, Wells Fargo screwed me. They shut down my account. Fuck, joke's on them. I use PayPal now. And I'm like, well, the joke's really on you
yeah, the joke's on you.
You know how many people were taken advantage of by Wells Fargo while having accounts open without their permission?
Wells Fargo. I was one of the people that got a small commission check from that fraud.
You know, those people that were affected, you know how they got back at Wells Fargo? They closed their accounts and opened one at PNC. That's exactly what happened.
You know what's really funny? I did the exact same thing.
See?
My wife was already banking at PNC. I was like, man, you know what? Fuck Wells Fargo. And I went to PNC. And
the reason I use those names is they're the most common swaps I've heard. I've talked to people that have been affected by Wells Fargo. People all went to PNC.
Because the ease of use?
I think it's just I think they may even be an umbrella bank for all we know. They're probably the same fucking bank, bro, just a different logo. I love when people say that they hate the Holiday Inn, but they stay at the Red Roof. I'm like, do you not realize that the same company that owns Holiday Inn owns Red Roof? Like every single hotel and motel, all of them, 50 of them, they're all owned by the same guy.
Yeah,
so
they're
if
all
you
owned
hate
by the
one,
same
you
parent
hate them
company.
all.
Yeah, no, I just tried it again. Venmo won't let me send any money. So I think they just blacklisted me because on the feed, it's saying that people are using it today and yesterday and all that stuff. And I can't send. I just tried to send $1 just to do it. won't let me send nothing.
I
So I guess
don't.
they blacklisted me
So,
on Venmo.
Crypto C Card says, "Speak on Cash App, not informed." I don't use any of these anymore, but I'm pretty sure you can receive and send Bitcoin through Cash App, and you can sell Bitcoin on Cash App now. But I don't believe you get the private key to it, and that's what scares me away from using a lot of services
Yeah.
that want to be custodials.
And that's why using the crypto.com card is cool and it's convenient, but I don't own my private keys.
Yeah, remember?
So
Do you remember Shift Payments? They had a thing with
yeah.
Coinbase. If you had a Coinbase account or a Quadira, some weird other name of an exchange, you could actually link your BitPay, your Shift Payments card to Coinbase and give them permission to pull from it. I ran into a huge issue with this. I linked my card to I forget what service it was, and it was like a subscription thing. It was, or for example, I joined the gym. I joined the gym with my Shift Payments card linked to Coinbase. That card has permission to pull money out of Bitcoin and turn it
Yeah.
into dollars and immediately pay the person that has my Visa information. The gym that I joined had an issue with their bankroll thing where they ended up charging everybody. Everybody got hit with 1 year's worth of their memberships all at once.
Whoa.
They ended up taking out the whole year's worth of like this service from my Coinbase account, turned it into cash. I got the refund, but Bitcoin went up 20% in the meantime. I did not get my BTC back. I got dollar value back. And that's what scared me from linking things to that effect. I'd rather have it where if it ain't on the debit card like BitPay, if I don't have the money already sitting there, there's nothing they can do. They can't say, "Oh, we gave them the money, now you owe us." Like a bank will say, "You only had $20, you got charged for 30. We gave them the extra 10, but now you owe us 50." So
Yeah.
I try to avoid all of that. And I think BitPay is probably one of the best ways to use crypto and Visa because of the way it's so separate. It's
Yeah.
you can't have too much Bitcoin being spent.
And you said
when
you
want.
you have access to your private keys on that,
Yep,
right?
yep.
Yeah,
I
see,
have my keys.
that's probably the only one then that I've heard of that you can actually have access to your private keys, because you definitely don't with the crypto.com card. And that's honestly, out of all of the other negatives, like how the earn thing is kind of sketchy and stuff like that, that's probably the biggest downside to it for me, is that I don't have any access to my private keys. Like if anything ever happens to that card, or I lose my card or something, like, yeah, sure, there's other ways that I might be able to get my money back if I lose my card. But if anything is ever compromised or something, I'm screwed because I don't have access to
Compromised.
my
If I
private
figure
key.
out your username and password, I could just sweep all your funds. It's like
Exactly.
way
You
too
could.
convenient. If you knew my
Yeah, you
BitPay
could.
information, the most you could do is get to my Visa profits probably. I'm not
Yeah.
even sure if you could, with username and password, log into BitPay and then spend money off my debit card, because it only on the app gives you the last four numbers. You don't get any of my Bitcoin if you can log into my BitPay account.
The only thing that crypto.com has to prevent that is there's like a 4-digit security thing that you come up with for logins. It's like a security pin for login and stuff.
I feel like 4 digits isn't enough. It's so
It should be at least 6, I think.
Exactly, at least 6, dude, minimum. And I think that 4-digit pin shit's gonna get shut down real quick because of how many. There's so many different things of software that exist now for like brute forcing 4-digit pins. And I know a lot of websites have like, oh, you tried 5 times and stuff like that, so then they shut it down or they send you an email because they actually have made ways to attempt these entries without it actually going to the system for it to say that you've had 5 invalid entries. So now they can do a million brute forces on that.
Yeah, it's like they spoof the website and then keep hitting it with attempts and stuff. And then once it hits the right one, it does it on the actual website.
It's
That's basically
scary,
what
man.
happens.
Hey,
Yeah,
I gotta wrap things up. I forgot I have the Crypto Campfire podcast coming up in 10 minutes, bro. I am the worst guest in history. I am going to be very late to that podcast, guys, but I'm headed over to the Crypto
talked to you
Campfire.
so long, man.
Yeah, this was
You're
a really
awesome,
good
dude.
conversation, man. Thanks for the 2-hour chat, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Dude, anytime. I'll schedule another one with you. It's fun.
Thank you, McLovin, Crypto Seed Card, Bitcoin Ben, MJAI. We got Seed Card. Damn, there's a lot of you guys in the chat. I'm just going to shout out the guys that are the most recent. Much appreciated. Thank you all very much. And yeah, oh, Greg, yeah, dude, bro, thanks for stopping by. Drop your comments in the comment section below. The conversation's now in your hands. Let us know what you think, and we'll both probably see you in the comments. McLovin, get that boy some milk. All right, we're out of here. Have a day. Oh, and make sure you check out aedge.org, aedge.org, and have a day. Shout out to the sponsors of the podcast, MonarchToken.io, the complete crypto solution. Monarch Wallet is now available for Android, iOS, and desktop devices today. Do you want to learn how to mine crypto? Well, all you have to do is visit cryptomining.tools for profitable crypto mining information today. The Divi Project, that is diviproject.org, your one-click solution for staking and masternodes. Earn cryptocurrency using social media platforms like SoMe.social, SOMEE.social, New Era Social Media. Get paid to write reviews, like reviews, comment on reviews. Visit bravocoin.com and get paid to review. Available for Android and iOS devices. bravocoin.com. CoinFlip, the world's best Bitcoin ATM. Better service, better fees. Better visit coinflip.tech today. Shout out to the sponsors of the podcast, monarchtoken.io, the complete crypto solution.
I'm a shill, shill.